Hello and welcome to OutsidexboX. You're watching Show of the Week. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike. This week I experienced the future of immersive gaming with the nozzulous Rift accessory for the new South Park game. I hate the future.
While you were doing that, I was studying some advanced brainwashing techniques. Check this. Mike, would you kindly tell people about the game we're looking at this week?
Sorry?
I said, would you kindly do the intro about Bioshock, the collection?
What?
Would you kindly? Fine, I'll do it.
Weird, that should have worked. Anyway, Bioshock Collection does exactly what it says on the plastic Blu-ray case, collecting the 3 Bioshock games and all their DLC into one space-saving package. And now that downloadable games are properly a thing, all 3 games could take up as little as 0 room on your shelf. That's a real savings. So you get the now 9-year-old original Bioshock, which is excellent right up until that fight with a giant naked man. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan called. He wants his whole deal back. You also get the surprisingly not awful Bioshock 2. Created by a different development team from the original, it put you in the big, clumpy diving boots of a Big Daddy, and introduced the terrifying new Big Sister enemy, which is apparently what a little sister becomes when she grows up.
Big sister is coming now.
And you thought you had difficult teenage years. Finally, you get Bioshock Infinite, which is huge, beautiful, and chock full of terrible racists to peck to death with your hand crows. Yeah, you can see why they don't come to us for the review quotes on the back of the game box. Also included is DLC for all 3 games, including the Burial at Sea DLC for Bioshock Infinite, which takes you back to Rapture in its heyday before it became an underwater competition to see who could be the creepiest splicer.
Why can't Mommy hold you to her breast and feel your teeth?
Definitely a top 5 finalist. In fact, the only thing that's missing from Bioshock Collection is Bioshock 2's old multiplayer mode, which, unlike Mike with the Incinerate Plasmid, didn't set the world on fire. Bioshock Collection isn't just a cunning backwards compatibility racket though. For a start, on consoles this remaster polishes up all 3 games to modern standards, making them prettier and more detailed. PC players get an unchanged Bioshock Infinite because it already looked rather nice on computers when it was released, but to make up for it, if they already own Bioshock 1 or 2 on Steam, they get those remasters for free. There's also some bonus new stuff in there, including an explorable 3D museum of discarded concept art from the first game, and collectible making-of video clips featuring game director Ken Levine.
Where did you come with the idea of doing this underwater?
I think there was probably a conversation. It's like, well, what kind of places could be cut off from other places? Spaceship, summer camp,
So all in all, a pretty tempting proposition for $60, especially if you missed the Bioshock games first time around. Anything to add, Ken?
Welcome to the circus of values.
Sure.
I just don't get why you'd build a city at the bottom of the ocean.
Why wouldn't you build a city at the bottom of the ocean? Think of the lack of government interference and the sea views.
I don't think you've thought this through. When you're picking a place to live, Jane, there are practical considerations even more important than whether you can dodge the meddling government or ride a manatee to the office. You have to think carefully before you up sticks and move to a new city, and especially before you relocate to any of the following deeply impractical video game cities. It's all well and good moving to a fabulous metropolis in the sky, but even if you can afford the ruinously expensive council tax to fund the levitation of an entire city, did you consider the constant altitude sickness? At a height of 15,000 feet, you can expect headaches, nausea, and gradual loss of consciousness at best. Plus, all year round, the air temperature will be below freezing, so you can leave your bikini behind. You'll catch your death like that. Come on, Colombians.
People don't know their place anymore.
Tell me about it. An Oriental stopped me on the street and asked me for the time. Just like that.
Speaking of deal breakers, did we mention the hardcore racism? In fact, I probably should have led with that. 80 Days retells the story of Around the World in 80 Days, in which you play as Passepartout, manservant to Phileas Fogg, as you travel around the world to win a wager. Along the way, you stop at many world cities of the world, all of which have been reimagined with a steampunk twist. Most unusual is the Indian city of Agra. In 80 days, Agra is known as the moving city because it moves around on giant mechanical legs. In theory, very cool and steampunky, but in practice, a total hassle. There's the constant movement, for starters. That's got to be noisy and disorientating, not to mention dangerous to anything underneath. Agra has occasionally crushed sleeping farmers. Also, how would anyone ever find you? Hi, I live in Agra. Oh, where's that today? No idea, mate. Could be literally anywhere on the Indian subcontinent. Postman must be having a nightmare.
I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
Before you sign the lease on that flat in Rapture, I want you to think long and hard about the worst thing about living in a glass bubble at the bottom of the sea. That's right, structural damp. No one wants to talk about it, least of all Andrew No Gods or Kings Ryan, but when construction in your city has to contend with water ingress from a large-scale moisture reservoir, or the Atlantic Ocean, damp-proofing your foundations will always be a losing battle. So yeah, have fun with all the mould and associated health issues.
Just don't hurt me! Just let me go! My God!
This is the worst underwater city since Gungan, and that one had a Jar Jar in it. Plenty to recommend not living in Raccoon City. For a start, there's the fact that the whole thing is built on top of a giant biotech research laboratory, and who knows what's going on down there. I mean, what if something got into the sewers and infected the rats? You'd have an outbreak on your hands, and I think we can all agree that we don't want that to happen. Also, the police force is massively corrupt and led by an evil puppet of the biotech research company that owns the aforementioned laboratory. That can't be a good thing, right? Even out past the suburbs into the surrounding Arklay Mountains is no better. Out there, hikers are being cannibalized by groups of people.
There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten.
Weird. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh well, I guess the point is moot anyway.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
I'm sure Silent Hill is a very pretty city full of pleasant homes and agreeable public spaces, but good luck seeing any of them, because this place is always covered in a layer of fog so thick you can barely see your hand in front of your face. I mean, there are other problems, obviously, such as the psychological nightmare monsters and all the air raid sirens that are bound to keep you awake at night, but really, the fog's got to be the main thing. Yeah, I live in Silent Hill with my wife and 2 daughters. I mean, I assume they're still there. I haven't seen them for a couple of years. They're in the fog somewhere. Oh, and good luck if you enjoy listening to the radio.
This thing broken?
Now it's time to see what's in the comments and in this audio diary I found lying around.
I hate the government so much I invented magic potions that let you fire bees out of your hands.
Interesting.
First up, your comments on Mike and Andy playing upcoming pirate simulator Sea of Thieves.
Okay, so you're going to fall in the sea?
Yeah,
That's
almost immediately
that your
fell in the sea.
plan? Okay.
I'm the best. I've diluted my grog, I think, probably.
It's just a mug of salt water now.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything you need to know about sailing in that video, as commenter Vazda wrote notes. How to sail a boat. 1. Raise the anchor. 2. Loose the sails. 3. Get everyone on cannons apart from Mike, he's busy drinking his grog. 4. Go with the wind and shoot everything you see. Congratulations, you have now successfully sailed a boat.
You forgot falling in the ocean a lot.
And play the hurdy-gurdy.
Otherwise, spot on. Answering my questions, QLM Master Elfex says, I believe the technical term for having a hole in the middle of the ship is a problem. I knew it was something like that. I think it was all the grog and hurdy-gurdy music.
Meanwhile, commenter WhammyTime91 says, when I was a kid, I had to walk the plank. We were too poor to afford a dog.
That seems a pretty harsh punishment for not being able to afford a dog.
It's a joke.
Maybe child poverty's a joke to you, Jane.
Alright, let's move on, shall we, to your comments on this video showcasing 2 ways to play Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the right way and the Mike Channel way.
That's right! Hey! Anyone else want to come visit my murder door? Ah, another willing victim for the murder door. Murder door! And a murder door. And a murder door. A suggested alternate subtitle for the game here from Daniel S&J Olivier, who says, Deus Ex, Shadow of Mordor.
Possibly incorrect though, according to commenter Warrior Angel Let's Plays. Mike, if you're knocking most of them unconscious at the doorway, is it not so much a murder door as a sleepy time door?
I was sort of thinking they'd die later.
Right.
Of their injuries.
Sure.
Anyway, commenter Mongwood gets what I was going for, saying, I can't help but respect Mike's skill. It takes a real talent to cause such very realistic mess. I salute you for showing us how the scenario would play if Jensen was just a guy like us instead of a cybernetic god. Thank you, Mongwood, for your kind words.
I don't think that was a compliment.
Kind words. Finally this week, your comments on the show of the week that looked at Deus Ex Mankind Divided and the least practical body mods in games.
We're good and ready for more Deus Ex, and we don't have long to wait as it's out next week. If you need us in the meantime, we'll be over here doing our second favourite thing to do in Deus Ex games, reading other people's emails. Ah, that's the stuff.
Commenter ASWK is here with some advice, saying, Jane, reading other people's email. Ah, that's the stuffs. Andy and Mike should change their email password regularly, lol.
No, you shouldn't. You have absolutely nothing to worry about.
Okay, good.
And your Amazon delivery is arriving tomorrow, and your mum says she's okay for the 5th for lunch.
Okay, good.
And on the topic of impractical body mods, commenter Jason Richard says, Colonel Darren's arm cannon in Red Dead Revolver. It would be heavy enough even without a cannonball in there. It's made of metal, it's a weapon that gets incredibly hot after firing, and it's attached to a guy whose hideout is in the middle of the desert in a pre-climate controlled century. If the stench from sweating around the clock wouldn't kill him, the thing is bound to rust up and fail in explosive fashion sooner or later.
Plus, if you fire it once, you then have to spend half an hour reloading a cannon one-handed.
Hey, one is all you need.
Revenge shall be mine!
Finally, superheroic commenter Radioactive Barry says, It feels like in each video, Jane reveals a new part of her secret evil plot to destroy Earth and get more likes. Remember the space station for Pokemon? Now bribing us for our survival so we like the video? Come on, Jane, I like the video anyway. But seriously, guys, Jane is planning to take over the world. I'll look into this, but keep an eye out, guys.
Destroy the Earth, take over the Earth. Come on, guys, make your mind up.
Yeah, I know, silly, right?
Exactly. The only sensible thing to do is to build a new society somewhere implausible, which is why I'm creating that city under the sea.
We just talked about why that's a terrible idea. Do you not remember?
Right. Floating city in the sky.
Also didn't work out that well.
Okay. A bustling metropolis in the centre of a neutron star.
Yeah, I see no problem with that.
Nice. I'm on it.
Are you not gonna... There are still comments. Ugh, fine. No. Autumn. Skyrim HD. And yes, I have been working out. Thanks for noticing.
That's it for Show of the Week, but would you kindly press the like button?
I really don't think that's working.
I'm just asking nicely. It's basic politeness.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, lunch.
Oh, actually, I've got something in the fridge. It's a drink that lets you fire crows out of your hands.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, good point. That would be awful.
It would.
All the beaks coming out of your palm. That would lucky escape. Jeez.